Okay, so today we're going to make a demi-glaze because my buddy Kevin keeps calling me non-stop asking how to make this sauce.
Guilty.
This is a short version of the sauce because typically you use about 50 pounds of bones, and we're going to bypass that process just to make a great sauce in about an hour instead of 2 days. So what we have are herbs. We have bay leaves, thyme, and rosemary. We have for our mirepoix celery, carrots, onion, garlic, beef broth. This is going to be our bones. This is the 1 day of cooking bones condensed. We got it right here. Tomato paste, and then of course we are going to turn the demi-glaze into a bordelaise, which we will need mushrooms. And these easy household items, a colander and a pot. That's all you need.
Hi, Mom.
What are you wearing, Gary?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, dude. Hey, let it go. Let it happen. I told you I was going to get me dressed while I was out.
Oh my god.
Let the ladies do something.
There's a lady I know. If I didn't know her, she'd be the lady I didn't know. Cold as ice. Oh yeah. And my lady, she went downtown. She bought some broccoli. She brought it home. She's chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. She chopping broccoli. She chopping broccoli. She chopping broccoli. She chopping broccoli.
Alright, so we got our olive oil. We're going to put it in a hot pan. Make sure that the pan is hot before you put in the oil, because if you don't do that, the oil will overheat and it doesn't have a very great flavor. Alright, so what we got in here is our mirepoix. We got carrots, onions, celery, garlic, and we're about to put some herbs in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of thyme, put some thyme in there. Doesn't matter really how much you put in. You really can't use enough thyme, right? And we have some bay leaves. And the great thing about these bay leaves, even though these are fresh right now, they'll dry up and they'll be just as good, if not better, when they're dry. Just a stir. Now the mirepoix consists of 50% onions, 25% carrots, and 25% celery. And that is the normal ratio of vegetables to make the mirepoix. As you know, I'm sure, this is all just adding flavor to our sauce. It's extremely necessary to make this. Alright, so what we got here. After we added the peppercorns, we allowed this to cook a little bit more. And now we're going to add a little bit of tomato paste. This is all nice and soft. It's got a little caramelization going on. We're going to add some tomato paste. And we're just going to get this, you're going to see what's going to happen here. It's going to get nice and sappy here. It's all going to come together over this tomato paste. This is the goodness that begins right here. All this stuff comes together. And this is what sauce making's all about. We're building layers of flavor right here. And one of the ways we do that is by adding all this stuff and then deglazing with red wine. And this particular wine's a Cabernet. It's from Napa Valley. It's Napa Valley from vintage 1998. Don't do this at home, please. This is just all I have right now. This is something we should be drinking.
So normally, how much would you spend on a wine to use?
I would honestly spend no more than $15 on a wine for cooking, but most people would probably not do more than $6. Even a box wine will work for this.
And how much wine did you put in there?
I probably put in about a half a cup right now, and if you look, it's nice and sappy. It all came together right there. We're going to let this come down, and then you'll see what happens next. Okay, so now it's gotten nice and sappy. It's just starting to get to a point where we got to add liquid. That's where I want you to be with this. We're going to add in 1 box of this beef broth, okay? And this is where we begin the reduction. At this point, after you add this, you can sit back and relax. Do not cover it. We do want it to reduce. It's not going to reduce if you cover it. It's just not going to happen.
And what exactly do you mean by reduce?
We're going to let this come up to a simmer, and the actual liquid is going to be evaporating into the air, thus causing reduction.
So slowly but surely this is going to be less and less.
As it boils, yep. It's going to start to concentrate the flavor. Alright, so this is the process, the reduction's occurring, and basically we're just thickening this, making it a real sauce. Okay, so we just went ahead after that 10 minutes, we got another thing to put in, a little bit of rosemary that's going to infuse in the flavor. So let's go ahead and look at the consistency we got here. It's obviously, look at the bubbles there, it's definitely reduced, it's thicker, the flavor is more concentrated. We've probably built in about 5 layers of flavor. It's just basically like making a nice bed. And we're going to go ahead and strain this. We're straining it through your typical household type colander. And we're going to continue to reduce this without all the other stuff in there. We're going to start phase 2, which is the bordelaise, where we turn this into a real sauce with mushrooms, a little bit more red wine, a little bit more reduction. Okay, so now what we got is our mushrooms for the bordelaise. We're just going to start cooking those. We saute those. And after these saute, we're going to deglaze a little red wine, and we're going to add it to our demi-glaze, which is going to create a bordelaise. So we're adding just a little bit more bay leaves because it's more flavor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
And makeup! Alright, so we've got our mushrooms here. Add a little bit of flavor to it. Reduce that a little bit more, and we're going to be done. We're going to have a beautiful sauce. Alright, so we got the sauce here. It's pretty much done. It's sauce-like consistency. It tastes great. We just tasted it. What we're going to do is we're going to add unsalted butter. And in French they call this monter à beurre. It means to melt with butter. It is really going to actually finish the sauce off quite nicely. You never want to use salted butter in any sauce because you can't regulate the amount of salt that you're putting into it. So at the end of this, because it's unsalted butter, I'll be able to add as much salt as I need to taste. But if we use salted butter, it'll probably come out too salty.
Oh, it smells wonderful. Oh, wow. That's very good.
So here's Kevin now. He's had this sauce a whole bunch of times. And thank God I finally don't have to answer any more phone calls.
Oh yeah, such a pain in the ass, huh? This is awesome, dude. Perfect. Awesome.
Alright, so we got our bordelaise here. It's the sauce with the mushrooms in it. It's a derivative of the demi-glaze, and we got our steak. We're just going to pour that right on top. So here we go. This will just leave you begging the question, how's it taste?
This has been a Magic Kevin production.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.